Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm going to do a video on cleaning the Cap and Ball Revolver. This is the 1851 Colt. This one's in 44 caliber. Okay, so I just finished shooting it for the day, so I want to clean it up before I reload it, put it in the holster, and put it back where this thing normally lives, because I normally keep this loaded and hidden as a backup gun. So first we're going to do is go to the half cock position. Okay, so that the cylinder will spin freely. Look at the nipples. Look at the nipples on the back to make sure there's no caps on them. Then you can look down the face of the cylinder. Make sure there's no ball in there. You'll be able to see it. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna push the wedge out. Sometimes you may need to tap it with a mallet or something like to get it to move out. Pull that out, and then pull it out. If you have any difficulty just pulling it apart, what you're gonna do is since you're in the half cock position already, just rotate your cylinder so that the plunger will go between two chambers, and then basically just push down on it. Make sure your wedge is out all the way. Push down on it, and then basically you're going to use that leverage to get this out. And once it comes out, you kind of spin it loose a little bit, and that's how you can get that out so much easier. And then pull your cylinder out. As you can see, this is sticking right now, because this is dirty. Okay, so normally this would just go in and out real easy. This is kind of dirty right now. One of the places where you're going to see a lot of dirt accumulation on the Colt is right there. All right, on the front of that brass, the brass half over there, and that makes contact with the front of the cylinder over here when it's rotating. So that's where you're going to see a lot of dirt build up. That's where you're going to see a lot of resistance. If you've got the 1851, with the 1851, I usually don't shoot more than 6 cylinders before I take it apart, because if you shoot too much of that, the rod doesn't want to come out. Okay, the rod gets stuck in place. So usually I'll shoot 5 or 6, then pull it apart, and at least use a wire brush to clean the rod. And then after 5 or 6, I'll clean it. At least just brush it down between cylinder shootings, because otherwise it gets really, if it gets dirty, it's really hard to pull that pin out. And then what you gotta do is you gotta put a nail in through the back. You actually on the 1851, you gotta pull the hammer back, and put a nail in there or a rod and try to push the pin out. It's the only way to get it out. Okay, so let's get this clean now. And I like cleaning it outdoors because this is a pretty dirty job. If you gotta do this indoors, you want to do this over a stainless steel sink. The sun's coming out now, so it's getting a little warmer. And what we need is water. Hose is great. Most people, when they think of gun cleaning, they're not thinking of using a water hose, but don't matter. Use a water hose, get it gun clean. Just clean faster. So you can see how that powder. I haven't shot this a whole lot, but today. So if I shoot this a lot, the water will be coming out black on the other. So that's good. So we got the bulk of that dirt out. The bulk of that residue out, rather. Okay, so that's clean. That's not clean. It's been pre-washed. Next, I want to pre-wash this. Go to full cock. Try not to get the wood soaked, because wood and water. Sometimes the wood might swell up. So just try not to soak the wood. It'll get a little damp. Okay, right now there's a little water on it, but I don't want to get it completely soaked. I don't want to submerge this in water. So basically, I'm making sure I'm getting water inside where the gears are. And it don't matter, because we're going to dry this, and so it don't matter if the gun is if everything gets wet right now. Okay, so we got most of that residue out. Now we're gonna do the same thing with the cylinder. Same thing. Get most of the residue out. Okay, so most of that's clean. Put it aside for a second. Alright, so next thing I'm gonna do is we got here a wire brush. This one's 44 cal or 45. That's fine. And here I have some water mixed with dishwashing soap. Same thing that you use to Clean your dishes, that's really good stuff usually because it's designed to cut the grease. So just spray some in there and just get your brush in there and clean. Cleaning is cleaning. There's nothing magical about this. Just get it clean. We're gonna take the nipples off in a little bit, but first I just want to get the bulk of the dirt out of there. Yep, so that's mostly clean. We'll use that hose again. Do the same thing with this half over here. Get the soap in there, soap water. Now I'm going to use this brush. Get that, especially in the front there, even though I spread it down before, that powder buildup stayed right there. Right there on the Colt, basically clean the rod, the center pin over here, clean that out. Okay, also I like using a 22 wire brush because that allows you to get into some nooks and crannies. If you got a Q-tip handy, that also helps you get into some nooks and crannies. Pull the head off a Q-tip off. A little more soap water in there. Okay, so that should be clean. One more time. Fire brush, get that in there. You know, in the hammer, like especially right down in the hammer channel over here. Get that clean, get the hammer clean on both sides. Back of the hammer is a place where on the Colt that likes to build up residue. Alright. One time. Okay. Next we'll go to the barrel. We already pre-washed this, but I want to get a little soap water in there. So run that down the barrel. Clean the back. Usually in the back over here, there's from the lube that you're using to prevent the chain fire. You're gonna have like lube back here. Just clean. Push your plunger back. Clean your plunger. Okay, so that's mostly clean. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the nipples. Actually, that's just little piece. There is the wedge. Take this a little cleaner too. The little wedge doesn't get really too dirty. And if you're doing this outdoors, be careful not to lose the small parts. So this is the wedge that holds the two parts together. Alright, so next I'm going to use this key over here to unscrew the nipples because I want to basically get them nice and clean. And the thing is, like, if you don't clean them, what'll happen is eventually they'll just basically kind of get stuck in there, and then you won't be able to get them out when you want to clean them. So that's why I remove them every time after shooting. Clean them, and I lube them. I had a bad experience one time where I had a really hard time getting the nipples out. I had not used lube on you know, basically I got a little dish here. Take the nipples out, put them in a dish. So I have 6 of them, put them in there. Now that they're out, I can use the 22 brush, clean the back. And this is the area where the caps were igniting, so you know, there's gonna be some burnt residue over there from the caps igniting too. There you go. So that's pretty clean. Okay, so this is nice and clean. Alright, so now next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to dry this. So, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to put the nipples on the side for a minute. I'm not going to hold off on that because I want to clean those a little bit better. While I'm drying the gun, I'm going to clean those. So basically, first I want to get the excess water off the steel. Okay, so I've got the excess off. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a box and a hairdryer. Right? I like using a hairdryer because it makes everything dry a lot faster. So I'm going to take pieces, put them in the box. And I'm going to put the hairdryer on high. Hot. I'm just going to position that there. And now all that heat's being trapped in there. That's going to heat up the steel and dry it. Now while that's happening, I'm going to come back to my to the nipples that I unscrewed, and I'm going to use the wire brush and just clean off the. Oh, before you do that, just take some of that soap water and just soak those, you know, soak them in there with the soap water. Let it sit for a minute. And you want to have another dish. And I'm primarily interested in cleaning the threads. You know, that's screwed into the cylinder. That's the wedge over there. So we'll clean it. Hopefully you guys can see from that angle there. Just use the wire brush. And it's not like that big of a deal, you know. You just want to get the bulk of the duck off it. Okay, so that's clean. That's clean. That's clean. Now what I'm going to do is because remember, these nipples now have some soap on them, so I'm going to kind of just put a little bit of water in there. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just getting the soap off of them now. And then I'm going to basically take another dish, take them out, put them into the other dish, which is dry. Take out all 6, make sure I got all 6 out, there's nothing in there, put in the water. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it into the box. That's heating up. Just let me dry my hands. once the steel gets hot, and you don't have to get it like super hot. It just needs to warm up a little bit. Okay, yeah, that's pretty hot. I mean, that's pretty warm. My hands are wet. I want to just dry my hands in there, just so I don't get everything wet again. I want to pull everything out. Okay, so I got the dampness off my hands. So that's dry, warm. Barrel's pretty hot. Cylinder's pretty hot. The nipples I just put in there, so I'm going to put a little bit more direct heat on them. Sometimes the blow dryer can just blow them away, so you just gotta be careful not to. You do it in such a way that you don't lose them. Okay, that's pretty good. Gotta go get some gun oil. Forgot the gun oil. I'll be right back. Alright, so we got some gun oil now, and basically we're just going to oil the machine up. Alright, so just take this, spray it into the openings, spray it into the trigger area. Oh, one of the things that you want to do, I already did this earlier, have some small screwdrivers. The screws that typically go into the revolver are not like Loctited or anything. They just screw in, and they will loosen up over time. So if you pay attention to the screws to make sure they don't start walking out on you. This is just something that happens with these black powder revolvers. Screws are not Loctited in, and you don't want to over tighten them because this is all soft metal, so it will strip if you try to make it too hard, or if you put yourself in a position where you have to like crank hard on, because you don't want to put Loctite, because if you ever have to open it up, if you can't get the screws open, you're gonna end up stripping everything. So just check it when you clean it. Look at your screws, make sure everything's still in place. Okay, so again, look at all the hinges. Okay, send a little down the barrel. Okay. So I got all the internals oiled up. I'm also gonna, afterwards, I'm just gonna wipe this down a little bit. I'm planning to load this, so I'm not gonna squirt any into the chambers, but I am gonna squirt a little bit into the center, where the center pin goes. I'm gonna squirt some over there. Okay. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the nipples back in. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is I have some lube here that I use. I put it on the threads of the nipples, so again they don't seize up on me. And if you don't have, because this is basically synthetic grease, it's designed, to work, to be resistant to heat. But if you don't have this, I mean, just use any oil that you have. It'll probably be just as good. So I'll put them in one at a time. And just turn it until until they go in and they catch. I mean, you're really not looking to get these things in tight. You just want it to be snug. That's probably a good word. Snug. Not tight, snug. I'm going to try to not block the holes, because there's a hole in each of these nipples to allow the spark to travel through. I think I might just got a little bit on that one. What I'm gonna do is, because I just washed it, it's clean. If you blow through it, you'll clean that channel up. Okay. see there's still some dampness on the cylinder. After I put these in, I'm going to heat this up again a little bit more. Actually, probably picked up the dampness from the table over here. That's how you lose nipples. So you gotta be careful not to lose it. And I guess you just hold them up there so make sure you can see daylight. I can see on some of them I cannot see daylight because of the lube I put in. So I'm just gonna clear them. Okay, so I can see daylight through each of those nipples. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to heat this up a little bit more. And I could see that it was still a little wet, a little damp. My wedge, I push it up a little bit too. So next, yeah, this is, you can feel it's hot. Put it in half cock. Okay, run your cylinder down. Take the barrel out. Put your barrel in. Close the latch. Take your wedge. The part that on the wedge that's up goes on the part on the side with the screw. You just kind of wedge that in there. Oh, I was doing it the wrong way. That little spring goes up. I was doing it backwards, so that's up. That goes in. And I basically just take a mallet or some hard plastic or something. Make sure that's it. And that's it. This gun's ready for loading. Alright. If you guys have any questions, feedback, comments, please put in the comment section. If you're not a member of the channel, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.